Big day in news for the Naruto Mythos TCG, guys. They just announced a roadmap for the game for 2026 and a peek into 2027, including some really exciting news about global expansion for the game. Before we get into it, hello, I'm John. I make videos about the new Naruto Mythos TCG. If you're interested in seeing more content about the game, I humbly ask you throw me a like and subscribe so you can stay up to date with news, gameplay, pack openings for this emerging behemoth of a TCG. Alright, let's look at this roadmap. Starting with a bit of what we already know, the rollout begins in March 2026 with Set 1 First Edition. This initial release will include booster boxes and a Naruto Sasuke box set. These are basically sold out, as many of you know, but fret not because we have information on the second print of these in 1 second. A big note going forward is that all cards printed in first editions of sets will say First Edition, and the second editions will of course say Second Edition. The difference between the two editions is that they will have different chase cards. Both editions will have the same cards to build decks with for competitive play, but for example, Edition 1 of Set 1 will have this gold Naruto that they've announced, and the second edition for Set 1 will have a different gold card to chase. So only 1 month later in April 2026, Set 1 Second Edition will be released. This second wave includes additional booster boxes, an Itachi and Kisame box set, and 4 starter decks themed around Sasuke, Sakura, Kakashi, and Naruto. Recently, there's been a huge question around the Itachi and Kisame box set, whether it'll be First Edition, Second Edition, or both, but it has been confirmed in the Discord by an official that it will only be Second Edition print. Also looks like we're getting different booster pack and booster box art to really distinguish between the first and second editions of the set. The starter decks included here are a new development too. They mentioned the decks offhand a while ago, but this is the first info we have on them since. In the picture, as you can see from left to right, it goes Kakashi, Sakura, Sasuke from what looks like the Chunin exam, which is dope, and then of course Naruto himself. We are so close to the release of Set 1, I am super excited, but it's cool that they released this roadmap because they put even more on the timeline. We have a date for Set 2 First Edition, which is slated for early July 2026, citing new illustrations and exclusive novelties. I'm curious as to what they mean by this, but we'll just have to wait and see. Side note, I'll cover these new card renders shown on the roadmap, like the Itachi, towards the end of the video. Now, we actually have a date for Set 2 Second Edition 2 being mid-August 2026. We're seeing a pattern here. The second edition seems to be about a month and a half after the first edition release. I'm curious what you guys think about the first and second edition dynamic in the comments. Unfortunately, I think it needs to happen as long as they plan to have the numbered and serialized cards in the packs, but tons of people are complaining about it, so I want your take. We then get the tentative release dates for Set 3 First and Second Edition being early October and mid-November 2026 respectively. If we take this year as an example, it seems like we will have 3 sets a year, which I think is a great cadence. It's not too much and it really lets metas form. I'm a huge Magic player and the constant release of product makes the game a nightmare to actually play, so this is really refreshing. Maybe they'll punch it up to 4 in 2027, but who knows. There are 2 things in this roadmap for 2027, one being a note that says, in 2027 we plan to release more versions of Naruto Mythos TCG, also adding different languages. I think it's pretty interesting, them separating versions and different languages. It could be a poor English translation, but who knows. As someone in the US, I'll stay optimistic. In the text of the post, they do say new language versions and an international expansion is slated for 2027, but neglect to name anything particular for obvious reasons, so I'll cross my fingers and hope that means a release in the US. Last point on this roadmap is for March of 2027, where they say we will have the first European Championship. They say this premier event will celebrate the success of the game, the community, and the competitive scene that has grown since launch. This is so dope. I love this. It shows that they are thinking about competitive viability of the game and not just collectability. Now, the final thing I want to touch on is the cards on this roadmap. We've seen some of these cards before, like these 3, but we haven't gotten renders for this Kakashi and Jiraiya, which look awesome. And then I don't think we've ever seen this Itachi yet, effect and all. You can fact check me in the comments if someone knows, but this one seems decently powerful and Itachi is a fan favorite character, so this is awesome. That's it for news today, guys. There's a lot to take in and I'm feeling pumped for the release of Set 1 in just a few weeks. If you like this video and want to see more Naruto Mythos TCG action, please hit that subscribe button and I'll see you in the next one.